on the dial. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Of course, the first of our two offerings would be newspaper headliners. I expect to be joined by Charles Ideho very shortly. And then, of course, remember that what we do is share the headline stories in the papers with you and give context and clarity to the stories so shared. Recall also that we do not, as a principle, opinionate. That's why you are supposed to give us a pair of keen ears, listening ears. Listen to the stories we share. Don't take us out of context. Okay, then, the first paper on call today would be the Daily Post. The Daily Post leads with this: Niger flood disaster, 115 bodies recovered. Recovered bodies, dead bodies, I should tell you, will be 115 in the Niger flood disaster. The flood, you remember, ravaged the Tifin Maza and Angwan Hansawa communities in Mokwa local government area of the state. Again, the disaster could have been avoided because I recall that NIMET, the Nigerian Meteorological Service, had warned of flood in no less than 30 or so states, 30 of the 36 states and the FCT. So, sorry, we're having to start on that ugly note. Niger flood disaster, 115 bodies recovered, according to NSEMA, the Niger State Emergency Management Agency. Other stories to pick from in the Daily Post include this one: Biafra Day, we observe sit-at-home order because of fear. Weary residents, they're telling us. We observe sit-at-home order because of fear. That's having to do with Biafra Day. Appeal Court reverses nullification of Kano local government election. Yeah, the local government election in a particular local government was at issue, and so it got to the appellate court, the appeal court. The result has been reversed. It pays to read up the details in the Daily Post of this morning or today. Fuel price drop. NNPCL encouraging monopoly, Ekpa alleges. Well, Ekpa is the Independent Petrol Marketers Association of Nigeria. They are alleging that the NNPCL, the major importer, is encouraging a monopoly of sorts. Yeah. Limited funds, EFCC, ICPC recovered $105.9 million, not $967 million as earlier advertised. This is a correction made by the Attorney General of the Federation. That clarification became necessary because of the mixed reactions it would cause. All right, let's try some more stories in the Daily Post before we move over. INEC, judiciary, biggest threats to free, fair elections in Nigeria. Dr. Sam Amadi is saying this. Yeah, you know Sam Amadi already? Yeah. INEC judiciary biggest threats to free, fair elections in Nigeria. But I dare say that politicians must be encouraged to play by the rules. Yeah, so they don't play into the hands of the INEC and judiciary, if you get what I mean. But the story is INEC judiciary biggest threats to free fair elections in Nigeria. How about this? Southeast should produce all 2031 presidential candidates. Lamido. Is that not an ambitious one? Okay. Enugu government commends Nigeria immigration for arrest of suspected ritualist. I'm sure you are familiar with the story of a popular Enugu State suspected ritualist who's been arrested or captured, so to speak. The story is in the Daily Post today. Okay. From there, we'll move to the Punch. The Punch newspaper is here. And the lead story is this one. Looted funds. EFCC, ICPC recovered $105.9 million, not $967.5 billion. The Attorney General and the Minister of Justice, Mr. Fagbemi, is telling us that. Okay. Tinubu, Nigeria's most civil, tolerant leader, a member of the House of Reps, is saying this morning in the Punch. Find out who he is and what he has to say about that. Tinubu, Nigeria's most civil, tolerant leader. Court jails 15 foreigners for cyber terrorism, internet fraud. Well, cyber terrorism and internet fraud have been two crimes that's gained momentum in the last 2, 3, 4 months. A court has jailed 15 foreigners for the two crimes. The details can be got in the Punch today. Stakeholders demand better federal freedom of information compliance. Well, the FOI legislation had become law, so freedom of information, stakeholders are asking for better compliance. Makes you ask, are people still volunteering information? Okay. Hear this. United States Supreme Court permits Trump to revoke 500,000 migrant status. Don't forget, Mr. President's, Mr. U.S. President's executive orders have been at issue for a while now. Okay. And so the Supreme Court has given him permission to revoke 500,000 migrant status. There. INEC sets dates for Ekiti Osun governorship elections. You want to know if you are a citizen, bona fide citizen, or shall we say, an elector of Osun and Ekiti extraction. It pays to get the details from the Punch, know when the elections set by INEC are slated for. All right. Football fans would recall that it's UEFA Champions League final day today. So PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, will trade tackles with Inter Milan, the Italian champions. So that match is billed for tonight. 9 o'clock. Okay then. Nigeria Air Force airstrikes kill scores of terrorists in Borno State. Well, don't forget that terrorists, specifically insurgents, seem to be launching a comeback in the Borno axis of our country. The Air Force has eliminated scores of them in airstrikes there. Wike, Kingibe trade words over clampdown on ground rent debtors. Well, you know that the FCT has had to apply the big stick in trying to recover debts owed it, having to do with ground rent. But let me quickly announce, my colleague is here, Charles Ideho. Charles, you braved the traffic, so you are here.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. I don't know, it was when I got close to the toll gate here at the airport that I discovered what caused it was a kind of a match pass. Is it match pass, or what do I call it now? Air Force men and women in their fatigue, and then some LYC among them. So, but they blocked the road from the old airport road. So not open. So what do you call it? The local airport, all the way to the international, close to the toll gate. So they give just one lane.
A harrowing month.
Yeah, one lane motorists. To both coming and not going. So you actually slow down the move. But I'm here now, actually. Thank you, I appreciate it.
I was just talking about Wike, Kingibe, trade words over clampdown on ground rent debtors.
Yeah, but again, I wouldn't know where, because, last week the president asked him to slow down. The president asked Wike to slow down.
And gave a 2-week moratorium.
Exactly, for people to quickly, update their documentation.
Oh, yeah.
And but I don't know, between Wike's intent to clean up the system and the people who were caught in the web, I wouldn't know who I would support. Because on the one hand, there are laws guiding the operation of FCT. You are supposed to pay ground rent and all that, and then you are defaulting.
These are rents that are 25 years.
Exactly. So people have been, I don't know how they've been evading it. Maybe, in the civil service, there are people who are always cooperating with people who want to shortchange the system. But again, we hope that he makes a good work of it, so that we all be happy. I mean, in the manner of speaking. In the long run, both Charles, in the short and the long run.
Do you know one question that is relevant here? Is, for instance, the PDP headquarters, the
Wadata House.
Are they owing anything?
Yes, I think
Baba
yes. Just said, I think it's about, I can't remember how much he said they are owing. They did owe, and he has come out to own up that they've been owing. But if a party that was in power for 16 years, and you had your men there, so how come they didn't pay? Why they had their men there?
Well, please note, we are not opinionating.
No, we're just asking questions, rhetorical questions.
Yeah, we are drawing from the stories.
Yes.
That's common.
But quickly, because when I was coming, I was listening to you in the car about you were saying something about NIMET warning some flood-prone states in Niger. One of them,
about 30.
Yes, I mean this thing happened. It broke my heart when I read one of the reports that a single family lost 17 members. 17, not 7. 17. Even to lose one life. Even a half life. If there's anything like half-life, 17 members. These are people who were there, and then even as we speak, they still cannot account for the lives of their Manjiri children, who, of course, were also caught in the web of this flood.
They say, have you heard the saying, man is like a tea bag. He does not realize the strength until
he gets into the water.
Hot water.
Oh, hot water. Yeah, not all water. Hot.
So what I'm saying, the flood in Niger State was largely avoidable, because NIMET gave the notice.
Yes, but again, there are people who have their ancestral roots in those areas. No, let me say this. There are people who have their ancestral roots in those areas, and if you also read the report, most of the people who are affected are are the poor, the poorest of the poor. So if NIMED gave the warning, what did the respective governments do to succor them for a while? I mean, there's always a stopgap measure. Okay, if you say your land is flood prone, what do I do in order to avert it because of the coming rains? So can they get them something temporary?
But you and I know that one stroke of nature will rubbish
man's technology.
Man's ingenuity.
It's only in the Netherlands that I know that man appears to have fought nature to stand still.
Yeah.
Because Netherlands is below the sea.
Yeah.
And
they have
each time
been able to keep the flood
sea
away.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Have you heard the story of the 75-year-old ice cream seller? Who says he's been serving happiness for 57 years.
I missed that. I missed it in the news. But as well, I think if for 75 years, after 75 years to still be selling ice cream, I don't think it has to do with poverty. Maybe he just enjoy
passion,
wanted to do it and not. A lot of people have asked me, because there was a time I temporarily left journalism, went into politics, got a position in Edo State, not a political position, but a party position, and then No, they are different. When you say political position, it means that I was employed by government.
What do you do in the party?
No, let me explain.
You sell ice cream.
You were not there before. Let me explain to you. No, I had a party position, not a political position. Political position has to do with you working for government. But I was working for a party as the spokesperson of a party in Edo State. Later rose to become...
You were not speaking politics.
No, I was speaking for the party, not for the government.
No, it's all right. No.
So
okay.
I now had to... Passion brought me back to journalism.
So you don't confuse the listener.
Okay.
Hear this one. Simon Ekpa appears in Finnish court on terrorism.
Yes, they said, I think he's been arrested in November. But right now, the thing is that what the Finnish court is relying upon, basically, information from Nigeria, which of course Ekpa's defense team are saying they can't rely on such things. So they also have internet about communication, and they say they feel they have this fear that he may have been exporting arms and ammunition to his fellow men over here. So, but again, this is the preliminary hearing they've just gone into. So we hope that in the course of time, more details will come, whether he will be found culpable and also extradited for further hearing here in Nigeria, or further trial.
All right. Another story in the Punch to share with you is this one. Police neutralized notorious Rivers kidnapper. Hunt fleeing members.
Yes, but that's, I hope they get those fleeing members, just like what they have done in the Obieze, the one they call Obonyeka, who of course was trying to run away. You also mentioned that in the when I was coming. We thank God for the gallantry. Is it gallantry or because I understand? I mean, I'm just leaving. I'm going back to Enugu now.
Yeah.
I understand the man when he was declared wanted in Enugu. He took night bus, got to Lagos by around 10 a.m. at my 2. Then from there he hired a motorbike that was going to cross him. He already had crossed until a very vigilant NIS member just this might not be the man that they find with this.
Yeah. All right, brings our time to 20 minutes past 7 on the Voice of the People radio, 90.3 FM on the dial. Newspaper headliners. The next paper is the Vanguard. The lead story: police escort, not bandits, killed my sister. Governor Kefas is saying this.
Kefas is of Adamawa, please remind me. Or Taraba also. I think it's Taraba. Kefas is Taraba.
Yeah, Taraba State,
Taraba, yeah. Well, that story, I don't know. Any investigation have been done to that effect?
He says his sister was fatally shot by a police escort assigned to his mother.
So it's an internal thing.
Yeah,
you on the one hand, you brought escort to guide your mother, to safeguard the life of your mother. Then one of them now shot your sister.
Yeah.
Well, and if coming from that, because the story ever said it was killed by a bandit and all that, but if it's coming from the governor himself, then who should we believe?
No, the governor.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we should be. The governor should believe. So anyway, that will put to rest the speculation. But again, what happens to the trigger happy man? He will say sorry that it was done in error. We don't, as we always say, the value of life in Nigeria.
Okay, another story here related to the last one we took in the Punch. Prosecutor demands 6-year prison sentence for Ekpa as trial begins in Finland.
Yes, but again, if they're going to convict him, as we always say in law, as they say in law, their law that it has to be evidence beyond all reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
So now that there's already speculation or not speculation, argument about whether those the evidence that they have already, if they can rely on information from Nigeria and all that. So I don't know how, if we're able to stand in court, if it's able to stand in court, they're able to say that the evidence they have against them are overwhelming enough to give him service. I mean, I don't know. We are watching and we're waiting.
Yeah. Another story to tackle is the one in the Vanguard. 2027, Southwest should produce all presidential candidates. Southeast in 2031.
No, say again, Southwest or Southeast?
2027, Southwest should produce all presidential candidates. 2031, Southeast.
But I read that, so but first I laughed. But again, I think if you look at it, what is this Sule Lamido? Who's that?
Yeah, Lamido. Yeah.
Sule Lamido, he's been saying that I think it's for equity's sake. Okay, if you throw if you say okay, it's to be an open field for everybody, it might be pretty difficult for the Southeast, the Igbo country, to ever aspire to be governor. No, they can aspire to ever win that. But so the pendulum is be swinging between. Be oscillating between the Southwest and the North. But okay, Northwest just left, now Southwest. So again, I think what he's saying.
If we go by the North-South.
Yes, so that divide. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So President Tinubu, but the South still has the opportunity to run 27 to 31.
Exactly. But again, after that, will it now be Southeast?
North.
Then that's something. No. If it goes to North, when it comes back, the pendulum comes back here.
No. In 2027.
Yes.
The thing is still in the South.
Yeah, until 2031.
So Southeast can join the fray.
The fray, yes.
So,
but what he's saying, in order for the Southeast to have its chances, just declare that all Southeastern are all, not all South, everybody from the.
Is he suggesting that it should be a law?
No.
There should be legislation. Should we legislate it?
No, the rotation we have today is not in the law. It's just a matter of convention. But did you know in 2023 election in Edo State, there was something resemblance of that from almost all parties.
That one now state.
No, I'm just telling you what happened there.
I hear.
That PDP or no APC, all the parties.
Your state, no, they carry last.
No, but we don't surprise people. So what happened was that the zone, we said Esan is. When it has
central.
Esan is the central. Okay. Now, when it has to do with voting population, they are less. Okay. Because we have 7 local government in Benin speaking.
Okay.
6 local government in my place.
Okay.
No, is this? Yes, 6. That's do not. Okay. Esan 3, Onwa 2, and Akoko 1. Then Esan, all the Esan, both the Akbevolo and the Agbazilo has 2. And so not 2 actually, 5. So what did they do? The parties decided to zone all their. They gave their tickets to Esan. So whether you voted for APC or voted for PDP, it was good to go be Esan. So even if Aswe Ighodalo had won, it would be Esan. Now that Obabulu is there, it's Esan. So that's exactly how we're able to do in order to say they are our brothers. I mean, the third leg of the Edo tripod. So why don't we? Maybe that's what Sule Lamido is trying to drive.
Okay, the details can be got
from the paper. I think that's Vanguard. Yes.
Yeah, the Vanguard.
Exactly.
Hear this one from Uncle Sam's country. Musk vows to remain Trump's friend and advisor as he bows out of office.
But I think the optics to me is a bit. I think it's a bit unsettling. It seems as if there's no love lost within that cabinet, because even Musk himself is also facing backlash of he trying to twist the things down south in South Africa, galvanizing support of Trump criminalize what is happening in the South and in South Africa. But South Africans are saying when the apartheid regime was there and the blacks were shot even in broad daylight, what did they do in the white country? Now that is okay, the land they have gotten, this is our land. Africa is not white. People came here to now usurp our land. So can we get, and if not all, part of our land, but just like what Zimbabwe did, what's his name, Mugabe did in Zimbabwe. But now you are saying it's pogrom against another. So they are saying that it's Elon Musk that has been, running that campaign. And then again, Elon Musk himself.
Elon Musk triggered the story about the pogrom against the whites.
Yes, South Africa. Yeah, he is, because he is a South African,
he's white.
And he's also white. Also,
yeah.
The African. No, it's not an African actually. It's not an African. It's a Canadian. Afrikaner, the Dutch or something. Yeah. So well, we hope that he said he remains friend, but again, there is already a what do you call it? Is a fly in the teacup of Trump's administration.
In the ointment.
In the ointment. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, full list. Nigerians to benefit as France announces 80 in-demand jobs.
But I think our romance with France, I think I have a problem with it, Citizen Jones. Because on the one hand, the Sahel region, they are already divorcing their attachment to France. And France has been accused of all manner of economic imperialism in Africa. Now that the Sahel region, they are all moving. Even Chad wants to join the Sahel to move.
You know, it was alarming to me to know that in Francophone countries, you don't have a central bank.
You don't have. And what you do is that whatever money you make here, you take to France. France will now give you, what do you need? Just like socialism or those big communities those days. So, but now they want to accept their own independence and all that. And we're now dealing with France. Tinubu will want to go on holiday. He wants to go to France because now France is trying to now rake up its support from Nigeria, and then you are now giving us a great gift. It's Greek if I call it.
Yeah, but you should not quarrel with that. We are the most populous country in Africa, and by extension, the largest market
in Africa. But if you must do it, we also be, because again, you can't separate market from politics. You can region. How about the regionalism? Right now, ECOWAS. The other day they had the 50th anniversary of ECOWAS. Without the Sahel region.
Just three of them.
Where three? No, where three?
Three French.
Yes, three French. Again, former French, exactly. But again, 3 out of, and you know that even as it is in the 15 member state, you have 8 francophone, 5 anglophone, and 3 lusophone, which is the Portuguese speaking. But even then, the francophone and the Portuguese speaking, the lusophone, they are always going ahead of time. So we hope that we are very careful. We are hoping for government to be very careful not to have all those dealing with France that will affect us in the long run.
All right, you are listening to newspaper headliners reaching you from the Voice of the People FM 90.3 on the dial, and my humble self, Citizen Jones, and Charles Ideho, sharing the stories with you. You want to take your time from us now? It's 7:30, and we'll move to the nation. The nation leads with this story. INEC fixes 2026 governorship polls for Ekiti and Osun State.
Yes, Ekiti is first, June 30th, and Osun August 18. Yes, if I remember the dates correctly. Yeah. So again, politicking will start in earnest, and then, but Osun is first. Osun is second. But people are saying that with the gale of defection from PDP to APC in Osun State, they are thinking that it may affect the chances of Adeleke for a re-election if he remains in PDP. So they're trying to win, but he's saying no.
Except that mine is Osun and Ekiti are going for governorship elections.
Yes, in those days that were announced.
Don't bother about who wins, who does not.
Okay.
Ours is to
report. Let them make whatever they want to make with it.
Okay. Lagos police receive fleeing Enugu ritualist nabbed by immigration.
Yes, after that they will now take him back. They will now take him straight to Enugu. Enugu State.
To answer questions.
I also understand his mansions in plural. Have been demolished according to the extant laws in Enugu. We also have the extant laws in Enugu State right now.
But you had the gory details.
That 13-year-old girl they took, they were rescued, and then they now open up pits where he has sunk people. Smelling and
so on.
And this man, I watched videos where he was spraying money. Obonyeka. They call him all sort of names. And recently there was an organization that brought an award to him in his sitting room. We are giving award to people you don't even know their background, what they do for a living.
Now we are beginning to know.
But will it end there?
That's the ugly thing about our job, but we'll see it as it is.
As it is, exactly.
So now Lagos police received fleeing Enugu ritualist nabbed by immigration. Other stories to share in the nation will include this one. Navy sails over 400 civilians to mark 69th anniversary. So the Navy...
Maybe it's possible. The Navy also do that. Maybe it's the Air Force I saw.
Are you sure they were not Navy men?
Oh, it's possible because they were wearing camouflage. It's camouflage they were wearing. So now, I wouldn't know whether that's exactly...
Nigerian Navy is 69 years old. So...
but Navy in Air Force Base, Navy in Air Force Base. Navy.
No,
is there Navy camp here?
In this axis?
Yes, close to the airport. The corridor between the local and the international.
I'm not sure.
But the Air Force, I know that I have there. Why would he know?
But now the listener knows that
we don't know
Navy is 69 years old.
The probable reason for what happened.
Air Force is 61 years old.
Okay, so. Navy is where? Navy is how old?
69.
I have the Army. We don't know yet.
Ageless.
No.
The Army came first.
Yes, and then police came first before the Army.
Well,
police been there now.
Okay.
Yeah, police came first before the Army.
Remember,
then the Navy.
The Army first came as the Royal West African
Royal West African Frontier Force.
Yeah. Okay. Serious reforms in FCT transportation sector coming, according to Wiki.
Yes, I think he's been doing well. Not me, according to what he say. He says he's been doing a yeoman's job, building the structure and then the railway. They want to connect the cities. So okay, we hope that it happens because if you go to Europe, most people don't like here now. I want to buy a car. Nobody, because you may have a car and never use it, because as you are driving on that road, you are paying road tax. The bigger your car, the more road tax you pay. Then where you are parking, just like that, your house. I visited your place before. When you park your car, you are paying.
My people say aquandita, aquafop. That is big meat requires big fire.
Exactly. So when you are driving your car, you are paying road tax. When you park your car, you are paying.
Oh yeah.
So why would I buy a car when...
Talk less of when you buy a big car. Or a bigger car.
A bigger car. 2.2, 2.5 and all that. So what people do is that they just use the tram and train and all that to move around.
Okay, politics now. Appeal court reverses judgment voiding Kano's local government election.
Yes, I heard that when I was coming here. So that's appeal. Local government, but that's the terminal point of it all. It doesn't go to...
No. Well, for local government.
For local government, it's the terminal point.
No, I don't think it gets to the...
No, it's only governorship
that goes
gets
to the apex.
In the beginning, the governorship ended at the appeal. At the appeal, It was only the presidential that went out to the apex. But it was after Amechi or something that the thing now went to the apex court.
Charles, hear this one. Schools, markets, offices shut in Imo over sit-at-home order.
But I thought that Imo said they were not part of it. Imo and Abia and all that. And I also heard when I was coming, said that people said they obeyed that for fear.
For fear. Imo.
Can you blame them? Because when you hear of stories about people have been hacked, people have been kidnapped, people have been, all manner of impropriety happening to them, then you'll be afraid to come out.
All right, we move to the Sun now. The Sun newspaper leads with death toll from Niger flood disaster hits 115. A search for more bodies, survivors continues.
A recurring story, but it's quite sad. I think they buried about 40 yesterday, Friday.
In a mass grave.
Exactly.
One
family losing 17 members.
Need we reiterate that when government warns of a disaster, this mantra of "it is not my portion,"
Not my portion.
should go away. You know.
Another one I also found very painful is the Kurudu, a house collapsing, a building collapsing in Kurudu.
Yeah.
A man having 3 children lost 2.
Yeah,
One of them,
yeah.
he said, he just scored 20 marks in jam.
Yeah.
And the boy died at 18. Is he 18 or 16? 18. The 18 or 16, I can't recall now. Died. His father also, the uncle died. They were praying.
There's no armor
They were
against
praying,
fate.
praying on the first floor.
You've heard the phrase, "There's no armor against fate."
As we say again, it is well.
I don't know if it is.
It is well. That's how.
Okay. NAFDAC denies unconditional reopening of drug markets. You know that.
I say unconditional. I have a nephew that's affected because he has his shop there in is it main market now? But even
Onisha, yeah.
Yeah, Onisha. But again, the other day I saw a very dark man going over there talking. I said, have you heard from? Because it was also all manner. You people are wicked. I said, the modus operandi of this young man. Yeah, he may be doing something good, but again, his modus operandi is what I quarrel with. Incidentally, it's an affair my man too, as myself, for Mexico. I'll get about the area out there.
Ose. Okay.
So, but again, have you heard from NAFDAC? You know, us, we who are journalists, we always get all the sources before we come out to the street to talk. But you just get one aspect and you go to town and then you are saying yes. But I hope they resolve it so that because people's means of livelihood have been affected as we speak.
But you must also
do it.
You must also interrogate why the market.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. Yes, the first place.
That's where the thing you
that's
will
where
start untangling from that.
From that point.
Here, this one. Court convicts 29 for internet fraud in Canada.
Yes. Incidentally, you have Filipinos are there, not only just Nigerians. Foreign nationals are there, and then EFCC is.
The EFCC boss gave a frightening story about a 22-year-old who had more than 5 billion in his account.
But the question, what is he doing with that?
No being get.
It's like a courier or something, or what do you call it?
This Yahoo thing, you know. Smart Nigerians, felons, are using them.
Yes,
for business.
I think there's a name they call them. Somebody who's standing for someone, kind of call now. There's a name they call them.
Yeah.
But again, for him to be part of that, we should also interrogate that. For a 22-year-old to be part of that syndicate, we should also interrogate that.
Okay. Boko Haram suffers heavy losses as NAF, Nigerian Air Force, destroys terrorist strongholds in Borno State.
So we are told.
Yeah,
so we hope that the onslaught continues.
The governor of Borno was in the news last week.
Yes, he's always been in the news.
No, but he's a personable, likable gentleman.
He's always been in the news.
Oil production, NSA, DSS, PINL, others, broker peace among Ogoni, warring community.
Because there has to be peace there for us to continue. Okay, something you said about. You said earlier. I said I was going to make a comment on it about Ekpa. They are accusing Dangote. I've been following that story.
They are saying NNPCL is encouraging monopoly.
Yes, because they even said they are also accusing, allegedly so. Ekpa is also accusing NNPC. They just shut down the Port Harcourt refinery for repairs. They say even there that they are fearing that one of those independent refineries may have planted people there to ensure that NNPC doesn't continue so they can enjoy monopoly. They are even accusing Dangote of a monopolist that when he came into sugar, he destroyed all of them. Where is Tate Sugar? Today, Tate Sugar is gone, all of them. When he came into cement, all of them. When he came into salt, so that they are afraid. As we do, they are afraid that
afraid
don't catch them. You might also replicate that in the oil, and then because it's just the markdown is almost on a weekly basis, just marking prices down and all that, reducing prices. All of them they are now stranded.
For me, I like the price war to continue.
No, it's for my good.
But good, but let it show on the.
Let it reflect exactly.
Let it show on the at the dining table.
Do you know the other day I bought at I think yesterday day for I bought at 870. from the usual place.
Are you complaining?
No, I'm happy that it's coming down. So let it get to 500. I can now fill my tank and go to Benin to go spend. We can come back.
You said so. Was it yesterday?
No, I said I would like to go.
I suggest you know if you trek. If you start trekking from 5.
when will I get to Sagamo?
All right. Other stories in the Sun. INEC chairman reads the riot act to a newly sworn in Rex.
Well, they need to know. Well, the riot act, does it have to do with doing what is right?
Yeah, playing by the rules.
But has INEC been playing by the rules? Rhetorical question, no. That's I said. This is a rhetorical question. Has INEC himself been playing by the rules?
What did INEC don't do?
But you read the headline that INEC and judiciary are the problem of our against.
Now somebody talk about.
Yeah, there's somebody. That's why I say it's a rhetorical question. I'm only asking a question that anybody can answer. Has INEC been playing by the rules? INEC that will bring up rules and also work against their rules. When they come up with beavers, some places we are not using beavers. They came up with uploading results on the IREV. They came, no. Is INEC playing by the rules?
Charles,
we should interrogate the question from there.
The elephant in the room is the politician.
Okay.
If the politician plays by the rules, INEC would have no choice.
No, it is the politician that is also working in tandem with that. When you bring in money,
the elephant in the room is the INEC.
But when you bring in money to
the elephant in the room is the politician.
And when the politician brings money to wave in the face of somebody,
now the thing it's remove the elephant. Let the elephant obey the rules.
Second base, Jare.
They say elephants do not struggle to be big.
No, they are big. You are big already.
You are born big.
Yes.
Okay. Other stories in the Sun this morning. Kano government Lords Appeal Court's judgment reversing halting of Kano LG polls.
Okay, that's the recording. It's a recording. Recurring question.
Yes,
that we just mentioned.
Yeah. Okay. Midterm report. Governor Kefas promises free health care for children and the elderly.
Taraba is in the news for the second time. So we hope, it's good. But again, sometimes when they enter into this thing, is it sustainable? Why don't you make it an institutional issue rather than a personal issue? Oh, this governor is there today. We are doing, once he's out, the person coming there, no. But let's institutionalize it.
Charles, I'm sure you are familiar with this story. Abia governor has taken the lead by signing a bill, Senior Citizens Bill, into law.
Yes.
Elders,
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Beginning from age 59 upwards.
Yes, should be taken care of.
Yeah.
I mean, these people have also
taken care of in Abia State.
Abia State. And they have the funds. But you see, the thing is that, again, I hope that the one who is coming, supposing the next governor is not on the same party, the law will be there, but it will not be activated. That's the problem.
The governor not go old.
He too go old, but he would have saved. He would have made enough money to take care of him and his family. That's what they always do.
Nature, God is not mocked.
No, what I'm saying, when they are there, they will siphon money and have enough to travel abroad for Medicare and all that. So now then they bind the rest of what
maybe we talk about the one way we know.
Okay.
So, why students writing exams in darkness, a national disgrace.
Did you see that video?
No, I didn't see it.
They were using torchlights. Even those who were invigilating, they were crying out.
Mine is such videos I need to be circumspect in watching and
believing.
And passing judgment.
I saw the video and I said, well, this same why we did in broad daylight. And they said, I don't know what they said. They said they brought the papers late and students were waiting for money till the time they brought. And by the time there was no light. They had to put on phones and torchlight on that. And children were sweating in the dark in Nigeria in 2025. And we're talking about re-election, talking about renewed hope and rekindled hope.
Oh boy, let's another paper here. The last, not the least, is The Guardian. Lagos Calabar Highway, a reference point, flagship of excellence in Africa, according to the minister, Umahi.
The other day, on Sunday, myself, my wife, my daughter.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm fine. The whole family, myself, my wife, my daughter, my son, we went to Eco Hotel for
in this harsh economy.
No, I never finished now. I didn't say we went there to lodge. There was a Christian concert, musical concert that we attended. So I was showing them.
Free.
No, we were giving complimentary tickets. We are big boys now, so we enjoy some of these things. So when I saw the aesthetics of the beginning of that Calabar Lagos. But two things I have against. I have to say against that for now. The thing is too expensive. The cost is high. We understand that a similar country did theirs for nearly less.
Charles,
nearly half.
Me, I'm not going to join you to opinionate.
That's number one.
It's to report the story.
Yeah, no. Me, I'm here to analyze now. So, number two. Let me finish number two.
Because you are giving fire to the listener.
Okay, no fire, please. Listener, please take the fire out.
Part of the news.
No, that's not. Number two is a 700-kilometer road. You are commissioning just 30 kilometers. I have a quarrel with that. If you do half,
Charles, you go court.
Okay, let's leave it at that.
Okay, for me,
yes,
it reduces travel time.
But the road is beautiful. No, come on, it's beautiful.
Covers 8 states.
I saw no Edo. I don't know day. I did say Edo. It's Lagos. We pass through Ogun, Ondo, then Delta. Bayelsa, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, and
Cross River.
So I don't know the. See, I do not carry last.
Are you going to?
I do not carry last for this one.
All right. Fireme criticizes Tinubu government over delay in 2025 budget implementation.
Criticizes? Fireme?
Yeah.
I thought they were on the same WhatsApp group. Well, he has reasons. A delay, but they passed the budget already. It has been signed, right? So it's the implementation, I think, is what he may be talking about. If I miss the point he made.
All right. Time is tight. Let's turn things over to the listener now. Dear listener, it is now time for you to react to the story we shared, or some of the stories we shared. Please hit the nail on the head. Thank you. And the number is 0803 692 9933. Let's have you call now. Let's have you call. Um, 0803 692 9933. Looks like we have a first listener here. Good morning to you. Okay. Hello. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Citizen John.
I greet you. Welcome.
And Charles.
Good morning.
In the studio.
Good morning.
My name is Peter Usifo.
Go on.
I'm calling from Abaranje in Ekotun. For the YA candidates who wrote their examination in darkness, those people concerned in Nigeria should be well sanctioned, because we know it is not like JAM that is solely organized by Nigeria, but this is why West African Examination Council. So those people who, were involved in Nigeria should be well sanctioned. This is the first time we are seeing such a thing, so it will not happen again. Then, as for Kano State, I think that is the appeal court, talking about the local government election. I think it's commendable. I hope opposition people will not say now that APC has not done well. Because if it has gone the other way, they would have said one party state. But now it is NNPP. So we thank God for that. It's very commendable.
All right, 60 seconds. Lastly, 60 seconds are up. Thank you. Let's obey the rule. It's your turn. Good morning to you. Welcome.
Hello?
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
I greet you, sir.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning to you.
My own opinion concerning them being 30th, they are doing sit at home. It should not be sit at home. People should do something great out of that May 30. They should use it to remember the fallen heroes, elderly people that participated in that war, that are suffering now. Go and touch their lives. Because if you sit at home, you achieve nothing.
Yeah.
Like me now, I was 4 years old, 1970, when the war ended. As a child, it was horror. It was terrible. I still feel the trauma. So those people that are alive, go and touch their lives. Let it be a period of sharing and touching their lives. Concerning Niger State flood, the federal government should do more, not only alert, they tell you run for your life. It is them build dam in Niger and Kogi, Barazi. Start from there first. If they have standard dam in Niger and Kogi, if you take flood away, if you take all those floods
Thank
inside that
you.
dam.
60 seconds are up. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, your turn, dear listener. Take advantage. 0803-692-9933. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Citizen Joes.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
This is Ola from Sulere.
Ola, welcome.
Hello?
Go on now.
This is Ola from Sulere.
Go on, I heard
Number
you.
one on this coastal road, I think the cost, when you are comparing, you compare with what we have in Nigeria. And then we look at what the composition. You cannot compare asphalt road with a concrete road. The one you are referencing is different. Then 30 kilometers has to be commissioned, because those people that are doubting Thomas, they can see that that project exists and is not on paper like the way they have been saying. So they will be commissioning it section by section. We don't need to wait until 700 kilometers is completed in 8 years before we start enjoying it. Start enjoying it right from year one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just now, you know, concrete and asphalt. They're two.
No, even the country is referencing. It's also concrete in Morocco.
All right. Think
morning.
of price differentials.
Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome.
Mr. Charles,
Good morning.
excuse me. Good morning, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
This caller Wale calling
Kolawole,
from
good
Diamond
morning.
State.
Yeah.
My friend, Mr. Charles, good morning, sir.
I agree to you.
I want to talk about the ritual killing in Nigeria. Thank God, in the East, they are going against it. Mr. Charles can emphasize that I've been calling on their radio, Jordan FM, all the time against ritual killing in Nigeria. I'm begging all Nigeria, we should all fight against these things. It's that they believe nothing can happen to them. The police are fighting against armed robbery, kidnapping, but they ignore ritual killers. And any country that is selling innocent blood can never grow. Look at them, because of ritualists now, most of the youth don't want to work again. Our ladies, our young girls cannot work free because of ritualists. Please, I'm begging all Nigerians, I'm begging the police and DSS, we should fight against ritual killing in Nigeria. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Kolawole.
Well, we'll apply the brakes here because time is tight, and we want to thank you for listening. Yeah, Charles, thank you for another 5-star.
Appreciate it. And
job,
the other day, you still have not promoted me. You said I'm an 18 karat journalist. When am
I make it 19 now.
I never reached 22. All right, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, our next show is 5 minutes away. Please stick around. Thank you. All right, folks, good morning one more time. Let's step into the second offering, which is simply Citizen Jones this morning. What we do is simple. We interrogate issues that get thrown up, that unfold before our eyes, give a context to it, just so you understand. Today, Tinubu's 2 years of reckoning, 5 takeaways from second year anniversary speech. I hope you got that right. I cannot make any mistake about it, neither can you. Nigeria, our Nigeria, is in a bad place, was in a bad place 2 years ago when Tinubu took over. And so 2 years into a Tinubu's presidency, opinion is sharply divided. Following from this, therefore, the president stepped before the nation, not to boast, but to reflect candidly and defiantly, and might I add, with a tone of tempered triumph. Not many of us knew, let alone watched or listened to his second anniversary broadcast. To some of us who chanced to listen in, there are 5 crucial takeaways from the speech. 1. Tinubu stands by his tough economic reforms. 2. Fiscal discipline and debt management are taking root. 3. Major progress in tax reforms and revenue generation. 4. Infrastructure, health and education are undergoing overhauls. And 5. Youth empowerment and innovation are central to the agenda. So let me provoke the debate. I have a gentleman here who understands everything. He has lived through it. And may I meet and greet national affairs analyst and proud Nigerian, Nelson Ekujimi. Nelson, good morning to you.
Good morning, Citizen Jones. Good morning to our listeners, and happy second year anniversary of the democratic dispensation to Nigerians.
Yeah. Nelson, let's begin to untangle the 5 takeaways. 1. President Tinubu says he stands by his tough economic reforms.
Yes, thank you once again for this opportunity. Any discerning mind will know clearly that where we have found ourselves today was inevitable because of the way we have drawn our lives, in the past. And before now, there has been this recurring debate about the removal of fuel subsidy. And when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came into office on his first day on the day of his inauguration, he made it very clear that fuel subsidy is gone. And the fact out there was that Nigeria was expending about $10 billion annually on fuel subsidy. A lot of persons have come out to say, it's a fraud. Some people, we should better do away with it. And if you look at the 3 leading presidential candidates pre the 2023
and the build up to 2023
presidential election, they all promised that they were going to remove fuel subsidy immediately. They didn't even say maybe when I said they said immediately. And from statistics records available, Nigeria expends 1 trillion naira monthly on fuel subsidy regime.
So it had to go.
It had to go, yeah. We couldn't sustain it any longer. And don't also forget that in 2022, the Minister of Finance and Economy and Coordinate Minister of the Economy under former President Muhammadu Buhari, came out publicly and told Nigerians that the economy has never performed the way it has performed in the last 1 year. That was in 2024. And a lot of people were wondering, what did she mean by the economy had performed? She now came out and said in the last 8 to 9 months, we have been unable to get a dime from the sale of crude oil because benefiting Nigerians in any form. And while the subsidy was on, we saw a situation where states, apart from being unable to, deliver on their promises to the citizenry, were also unable to pay their workers as at when due. Because even the Bible says that there's this saying that a laborer deserves his wages. But don't also forget that in 2014, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, as the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, then came out and said even the federal government was borrowing to pay salaries. But under former President Muhammadu Buhari, when he came into office, because of this fuel subsidy, mess, had to rescue over 18 states that were indebted to their workers. Because a lot of states were almost becoming bankrupt. They couldn't pay workers' salary, not to talk of retirees, pensions. So the foreign exchange system was another conduit pipe, for siphoning the public till. When people who are close to those in power are able to access forex from the central bank.
But critics are saying the president is wrong to have floated the naira.
Well, the president's economic policy were things he enunciated during the campaigns that he was going to do. And if you ask a lot of businessmen in Nigeria, one of the Achilles of the Nigerian economy, which they have pointed out, was the fraudulent, foreign exchange scheme, whereby those with genuine business could not access forex, but those with phony, relationships with those in power were able to access it, and they became billionaires overnight without, adding any value to the economy, not to the value of the naira.
Nelson, let me add here, and this is no hearsay or gainsay, by removing subsidy on petroleum products, states are receiving 3 times what they used to get from the federation account, which is why many states are able to repay loans outstanding.
In fact, Citizen Jones, let me tell you, if you remember in 2018, when the debate about the minimum wage bill was before the National Assembly, the Nigerian Governors Forum rejected that bill because they said they can never be able to pay the national minimum wage from 18,000 to 30,000. And while the bill became a law, the governors maintained their stand, and that bill became a law in 2019. And
many states were unable.
And as at 2023, when President Muhammad, that is about 5 years after, when President Muhammadu Buhari was leaving office, over 15, if not close to 20 of the states were unable to pay 30,000. Some were paying 15,000. Even we had that some states were even paying the minimum wage of 8,000.
18,000?
No, some were even paying 8,000 in some states. So if you look at what has happened in 2024-25, when the new national minimum wage, was increased from 30,000 to 70,000, and the state governments, even though we had this heated debate, they claimed they could only pay 60 or 65. But as we speak today, no state is paying below.
Recall that Edo governor then said he was
paying 75,000. And
which is saying
we are getting money and we can afford it.
The president knew states could pay.
Could pay down, yes. The president knew states could, because the minimum wage is considered based on a number of factors, not only the public institutions alone. The private sector must also be carried along, or else we have crisis on our hands.
That's it.
So the states have been getting, the states, local governments, and the federal government have been getting 3 times the allocation, and that is why you can see that the federal government is embarking on massive infrastructural projects that you could never imagine. That the Nigerian government in this age and time will venture into.
All right. Number 2 takeaway is fiscal discipline and debt management are taking root.
Yes, when we talk about fiscal discipline, we are talking about blocking leakages. And one of the conduit pipe for leakages of the Nigerian economy was the fuel subsidy regime. Because if you look at in the last 2 years, we have been able to save $20 billion because we were expending $10 billion per year. And when I say savings, it's not that the money is somewhere, but that's the money we would have spent. And that money has trickled down from the federal government to the states and the local government. Then you talk about debt management. Today, as we speak, almost all the states are liquidating their debts.
Yeah.
Even the federal government has been able to liquidate a number of debts, incurred by its predecessor. You remember the federal government liquidated the 30 trillion naira ways and means. It also liquidated $7 billion, from the central bank, as well as even paying recently the COVID loan about $3.4 billion to the IMF.
IMF, yeah. The man at the bus stop finds it difficult to understand these things we are saying.
Yes, absolutely, because the man at the bus stop is only concerned about the price of bread, gari, but the man at the bus stop needs to understand that we didn't just get here in a day.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming. And if not for these policies that were put in place by this administration, we will not be, the man at the bus stop will not even be able to ask. There was a time in Nicaragua, as well as in Cuba, where even Zimbabwe, where they were rationing foodstuffs. If as a family man, if you go to the shops to say you want to buy 3 loaves of bread, they will tell you, no, we can only afford to give you 1. So you have to do with 1. So if the government are not taking these steps to save the hemorrhaging of the Nigerian economy, the man at the bus stop needs to understand that if that those products or foodstuffs that is even able to access because they are expensive will not even be there.
Is anybody surprised that it is said that things have got to be worse? They get worse before they become good.
Yes, that's a saying we met, and that's a fact that when things want to get better,
they have to first remain very rough. And
like we say, tough times don't last.
Only tough
people do. And like also, winners do not quit. Quitters do not win. When you quit, you can never win.
Yeah.
So if you look at the states, for example, my Ondo state had a debt burden of about $27 billion, and 27 billion naira, sorry. And the government came out this month or last month and said because of the revenue accruing to the states, she has been able to liquidate it to about 3 billion. Yeah. A state like Delta State also had about 272 billion naira, and the state has been able to reduce it by over 80%. So whether southeast, southwest, south, northwest, state governments are coming out and telling us how much they have been able to liquidate there. And even while liquidating these debts, they are embarking on projects. It is now for the people to ask them to give account of those projects. Now we no longer hear of states owing workers backlog of salaries.
Now the man at the bus stop needs to look a lot less at the center, but at the federating unit.
At the federating unit, the subnationals, because some of our states, if you look at it, if not for the fact that they have been able to get more funds from the federation account, that trickles down to even the local government, because local governments now, the allocation that comes to them was like what states were getting even the Buhari administration. So states now, when workers get salaries, when government embarks on projects, that money trickles down because if road has to be constructed, the contractor has to be paid. He goes out there to buy cement, buy what have you. The driver will earn his salary. The woman selling bread and beans will come to site and sell to workers who have collected their allowances or salaries. That is how the economy revolves. Money starts revolving to everybody.
another major takeaway is progress in tax reforms and revenue generation.
Yes, we can see that
Mr. President says he does not regret that.
Yes, we can see that Mr. President tax reform, as the bill is now, he has 4 tax reform bills before the National Assembly that has passed final reading. Is now for the National Assembly, to vote on it,
to ratify
it, and then it will go for presidential and Senate. And if you look at that, those tax bills, it's one that profits the masses the more, because embedded in that tax bill are provisions whereby any Nigerian earning below ₦1 million per annum is exempted from paying tax. And small-scale businesses who have an annual turnover of about 100 million are also exempted from paying tax. So the tax reform bills are meant, to cushion the economic realities on the average Nigerian. And also, you can see that...
So the man at the bus stop needs to understand this.
Yes, he needs to, because a lot of things that ordinarily will have bought more. Because today in America, for example, you can see that Americans are crying out that Donald Trump trade tariffs is causing more harm. A lot of persons in America today cannot afford the groceries, because when producers bring product into your country and the tariff that they have to pay on those products is high, the victim ultimately will be the end user, the man who goes to the shop to buy. And if he is going to buy it at a higher rate, then it means a lot of persons will be deprived the opportunity of accessing those basic necessities. And in that way, their rights to make a choice, will be restricted. Because when I want to buy, margarine, and I'm unable to afford it,
but ordinary
butter, then you'll have to make do with maybe taking your bread with your tea, even without without milk, because of the cost. So the tax reform bills is a reform meant to generate more money. You can see that even the VAT distribution platform is being reworked such that whoever generates more will take a larger chunk of what he generates, unlike what obtained before this administration.
Now. So the it became intriguing, the tax bills.
Yes.
Because many federal lawmakers who should know started throwing punches at the tax reform bills. Some of them said they had not read it. And so why are you passing moral judgment?
We live in a society today whereby when issues come up, people will express their emotions, their biases, forgetting that no people, even a family, you don't run a family on emotion, you run it on the basis of facts. Or else that family...
What's before you?
Yes. We need to buy one loaf of bread. It costs 200 naira or it costs 1,000 naira. It's not about your emotion. It does not change,
or a crate of eggs.
Or a crate of egg that we need to eat. So when issues come up and people don't, introspect it dispassionately and resort to emotionalism or, political bias, then, they are getting it wrong.
Nelson, sometimes when I'm reminded that under President Jonathan, a bag of rice cost 7,500 or 8,000, I am asking, how much was it in General Abacha's time? Do you know in General Abacha's time, a bag of rice, this same bag of rice, was 500 naira.
Citizen Jones.
Not be everybody gets
Citizen Jones, it is not even under Abacha. How much was a bag of rice under Umaru Yar'Adua or Obasanjo? Let me tell you, let me give you this fact. I have a senior colleague who, while I was an undergraduate, came for PhD. And the man told us that you people are shouting things are hard. That when he was in the University of Ibadan, that the school fees was 40 naira.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you know, if you told a 20-year-old boy today, He would think you are talking about 200 years
Yes.
ago.
He said the school fees was 40 naira, that the hostel fees was about 12 naira. But do you know that the hostels were always overcrowded because a lot of students, their parents couldn't afford that 12 naira. So they were squatting. You know, the issue of overcrowding of hostels has been with us.
Are you telling me?
Since the coming of Christ. So when people tell you how much was a bag of rice yesterday, you need to ask them, the price of any commodity is determined by market variables. If government is intervening, government can only intervene for a fixed period of time. No government will continuously, subsidize a product, that affects the generality of the people, except it's on national on national security.
All right. Another takeaway from Mr. President's second year anniversary speech is infrastructure, health, and education are undergoing overhauls.
Yes, the infrastructural strides of the administration can be gleaned from, for example, you look at the Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway, which has become a reference point even in Africa. That road is going to span about 750 kilometers, and the
8 states.
Yes, and the lifespan of the road will be about between 50 to 100 years.
Yeah.
I remember when the Apapa Oshodi
Expressway,
Tinkan Island Expressway was being constructed. I was one of those who went on oversight over that road, and while speaking with the contractor, because it was constructed by iTech under the infrastructural program of former President Muhammadu Buhari, and Dangote company, was the one who undertook that construction as a form of a tax, tax readjustment mechanism. I don't know how to
tax rebate and all that.
tax rebate and all that.
Yeah.
And the engineer told me that the minimum that road will spend before there will be any pothole on it will be maybe 40 years.
So because concrete and asphalt,
yes,
they are two different things.
They are two different.
Yeah.
Then you look at the health sector.
Yeah.
I was listening to Professor Ali Pati, the Minister of Health.
Yeah.
And he told us of the investments in the health institutions, that even cancer as a disease, as a virus, is one that the government is tackling frontally by bringing in high-end equipment, so that a lot of persons who have to go out of the country for treatment of cancer, will be able to access this. And he also made it known that in tertiary institutions across the country, federal tertiary institutions majorly, that antenatal care or treatment is free for pregnant women, and that the primary health care across the country are being upgraded, as well as new ones being built to address the health concerns of Nigerians.
As a growing boy, you have just mentioned primary health care. My mind goes back to dispensaries of yore.
No.
Dispensaries fall in this category of primary health care.
Citizen Jones, until now that we are going back to our primary health centers, in the past, those were our first port of call. The number of private hospitals in Nigeria, you can count it at the tip of your finger. Everybody, because that the best medical treatment, the best medical facilities, the best medical experts, people with years of experience,
where are they?
You find them at the public, health institutions. So the government has invested quite a lot. And we can see that even the tertiary institutions, the teaching hospitals, the government has even come out to say even their energy costs will be subsidized, to the tune of 50%. So in order to ensure that health services are not disrupted or affected by the inability of these tertiary health institutions, to provide health services for patients. So the investment, and the government has also come out to say she has employed close to 2,000 health professionals. And we can only, as Nigerians, if we are commemorating 2 years of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, I'm sure not less than 28 states governors, were sworn into office on May 29, 2023.
This is owing to the fact that the extra
we have some staggered elections, so off-cycle elections. So you expect that, as much as we are asking President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to give account of his stewardship, and we are X-raying it, we also deserve to X-ray the subnationals.
The federating unit.
Because government at all levels exists for the security and welfare of the people.
Oh, yeah.
No, the Constitution of Nigeria does not say the welfare and security of the people of Lagos State Ogun State, or your state, Enugu State, is domiciled in the federal government. Yeah. In order for people to feel the impact of governance, we have the subnationals, and we also have the local government administration.
As an aside, the man at the bus stop, because he's the one we are targeting here, must realize that recently, I think about 3-4 or so days ago, Mr. President is asking the National Assembly to look at the request for another loan.
Yes.
The loan is not for federal government alone.
It is not even
for all the states too.
No, it's not even a loan. It's not even a loan. It's a framework, a loan plan.
Okay.
A loan plan. It's not even a loan. It's
a
loan.
All right.
Because
in the strict sense.
Yes, because the government does not want to be coming to the National Assembly every now and then to table the bill for a particular loan whenever is desired. The loan framework consists of the federal government as well as the states.
Yeah.
So
and
what?
Local government.
Yes. So what the federal government has done is to table it before the National Assembly to say, look, if the need arises, this is what we intend to borrow.
Yeah.
But if it does not warrant it, we might not come back here, to ask you to activate maybe one. Then maybe in another 3 months we'll tell you we want to activate two.
Yeah.
So what the federal government has done is to lay before the National Assembly
this is our plan.
The outlay of our borrowing plan. Borrowing plan. Yeah.
Okay. The number 5 takeaway from the speech is youth empowerment and innovation are central to the agenda.
Yes, the issue of youth empowerment is one that you can look at from the Nel Fund initiative by Mr. President.
Yeah.
Whereby close to 300,000 Nigerian students are now beneficiaries. And
indigent students.
Indigent students, yeah. And the government is not only paying their school fees, the government is also, assessing them pocket allowances.
Yeah.
About 20,000 naira monthly. It is to ensure that no Nigerian student who wants to access tertiary
is left behind.
Yeah.
Remember that some sections of the country felt ill at ease regarding Nel Fund. They were not persuaded. They were not convinced.
Yes, they were not, and it took the Nel Fund management to embark on advocacy visits around the country, because at a point in time, like you rightly mentioned, a part of this country where, because of the misinformation, every
and disinformation
by people with ulterior motives.
Yeah.
So they were shying away from accessing what their fellow brothers and sisters from other parts of the country rightly were taking advantage of which they also were.
Borno is ahead here.
Yes, so they also legally are entitled to it by law, by right. But because of the level of misinformation that went around town, you also know that that was also what happened when the government announced the introduction of CNG.
Yeah.
A lot, even till tomorrow. Some persons are still peddling a lot of lies, falsehood about the CNG. But the report out there, if you go to some of the CNG stations that were open, will be increased because the program director of the presidential initiative on CNG said by now, they have done about 50,000 to 100,000 in the last 2 years of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, and that they are looking at ramping it up to about 250,000 vehicles that have been converted to CNG on the Nigerian road before the end of 2025.
Okay, let's invite the listener. Dear listener, if you are listening to us religiously and you feel up to raising new issues, do so now. The line is free, 0803 692 9933. What's your take regarding Mr. President's 2 years of reckoning? Good morning, welcome.
Good morning, Citizen John. Good morning. I'm Nasir. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's that from neighbor.
Okay then.
Well, Citizen John said, you see, what we are suffering in this country is not removal of fuel subsidy. Me, I support the removal of fuel subsidy because it's a very big scam. But what we're suffering now is what happened at the seaport. Before Tinubu, when Tinubu took over, to bring a 40-feet container was 5 million. Now it's about 30 million. If you see what is happening with foreign exchange, see what is happening with the electric tariff. This is what has affected us. But now, I'm not against Tinubu's reform. Let's assume now that all this money he's making, trillions he's making, he's using them well. It will affect us. That is what I'm talking about. But he share it to politicians. And you know that the politicians, they launder this money. That is the problem on the part of Tinubu. If you to say this money that he's surrounded by good people, and this money is being saved, I'm telling you, we'll be great people. No matter where we are suffering, we'll see that now there is no future, there is no light at the end of tunnel. Because buying is expensive. He's building manufacturers, industries. All of them are paying heavily. Allow me to make my point.
No, 60 seconds are up. Thank you. 60
No,
seconds
Citizen Jones, I think we need to, the last caller, please be informed that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not have a right to withhold anybody's money that is constitutionally, provided for. The savings from the fuel subsidy removal is shared by law by the 3 tiers. So he has no power to deny a state or a local government what the constitution.
He has not.
He doesn't have the power.
Yeah.
And if you remember, to stop the allocation of the Rivers State government because of the crisis in Rivers State, it took the intervention of the Supreme Court. It is only the Supreme Court that can give an order stopping the allocation of any state or local government. The federal government does not have the power.
All right, another listener is here. Good morning to you.
Sister Joe, good morning.
I greet you, sir.
Yeah, this is Udeze from Ijegu.
Welcome.
Yeah, your analyst is talking about buying. I think you said almost the same thing. You are buying a bag of rice, so amount in Abacha regime. Now, in Jonathan regime, we buy rice 7,000 a bag. And after Jonathan is Buhari, and the thing rocketed to 40,000, 35,000 a bag. Just check the difference. Even if things we add money, how can things add money? Maybe 200% increase. That is where I'm going. It's not that it will remain the same price from year after year, but adding the thing going up 200% increase. That is what we are talking about. Don't say that is it the same price they are buying it. Okay, look at the last one that said about dollar. How much is dollar when Jonathan was there? 180. How much is dollar when Buhari is there? And how much is dollar now? Isn't what we are talking about? The masses are suffering. We are suffering. The masses are suffering. Thank you.
Thank you, too.
Citizens Jones, I think we need to thank you very much, the last caller. The information you need to know is that a bag of rice under Jonathan, if we were buying it for 7,000 naira, was dependent on a number of factors, including, don't forget that one of the Achilles of the Nigerian economy under former President Goodluck Jonathan was that he granted a lot of waivers to importers. Under President Goodluck Jonathan, we were selling crude oil at $120 per barrel a day, and we were producing 2.1 million barrels. So the government then had enough money to subsidize anything under the sun. Remember, when President Muhammadu Buhari came into office, he placed a ban on 41 items, including toothpick that we were importing.
Okay, yeah.
So under Goodluck Jonathan, we were making a lot of money, and instead of the government of Goodluck Jonathan to invest that money on infrastructure and things that we endure, they were busy using it for recurrent expenditure. And that was why former Minister for Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy in 2024, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, in 2014, came out and said even the federal government was borrowing to pay salaries. And we were like, how can you be borrowing when you have sold crude oil this much with this revenue? Where is the money? Goodluck Jonathan, sorry, President Obasanjo left a foreign exchange reserve of about $65 billion. By the time Goodluck Jonathan was leaving office, it was less than $28 billion. Even with all the sales we made and the savings he made on ground, it depleted everything.
All right, let me take another listener. Good morning to you.
A very good morning to you, Secretary John.
Yeah, welcome.
My dad is an analyst in the studio. Very good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you. More blessing for all of you.
Amen, sir.
My name is Prince Wyatt, calling you from Vanguard. I think the analyst spoke very well. Now, Mr. Friend has finished first half. If it's a football match, we say second half. If you perform below average first half, I think second half is a better time for Mr. Friend to change up. All what he has started now, I'm in support of it. Even though this is a commission of 30 kilometer of road, this is a coastal district. I'm in support of it. Let it get to every state. If we that state, commission it. Because it's part to 9 states. Because some people say it can't work. They can't do it. They are doing it. So I want the world to know that coastal road must go on. I've commend Mr. President for this. So second half, I want Mr. President to please mechanized farming is the key. If I'm talking about 7,008, I know it can't be possible. But let there be mechanized farming by the federal government, by the state government. We can feed ourselves.
Let me stop you. Thank you.
Joe, for stopping me.
Yeah. Okay, 60 seconds.
He talked. Prince Wyatt talked about mechanized farming. Well, you recognize that the federal government does not have land anywhere in the country, except Abuja. Yeah. The states constitutionally are the owners of land.
Oh, yeah.
Investment in agriculture, the federal government can only give a helping hand to the states. It is for us to ask the state, what is the level of their investment in agriculture?
Let me say quickly that Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde, is building on the foundation laid by the late Awolowo.
Okay.
And reviving...
even the governor of Niger State, Bagu, he told us that in the next 1 year, that his state will be the food basket of the nation, unlike Benue. So it is the agricultural investment, the responsibility lies majorly in the hands of the states. They are the ones that should make food cheap. You remember Lagos State government in the heat of the fuel subsidy removal introduced an Onje Eko that reduced the price of foodstuff by 25%.
Yeah.
And you can see how Lagosians were trooping out on every Sunday. So the power to reduce the price of foodstuffs majorly to increase our agricultural production is the states that have the power more.
Let me tease you a little here. Your governor, Lucky Ayedatiwa, can take advantage of
the aquatic
of the bitumen deposits in
Ondo State.
Yeah, and create something around it and export bitumen and make money.
Absolutely.
My state, Akwa Ibom, and Cross River State, the neighboring state, they used to be the hub in the production of palm oil product.
You see?
Today we are unashamedly
importing palm oil, yes.
We can go back there.
Even Edo State was a high producer of rubber.
And plywood.
So what are we talking about?
Okay. Another listener is here. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. You are welcome.
I greet you.
Oh, your line is breaking. We can't hear you.
The line is breaking.
Your line is breaking.
What is killing Nigeria? Are you hearing me?
Okay, yeah, better.
Yeah, better.
What is killing Nigeria is corruption. I thank God we have EFCC. EFCC should not be a bulldog without teeth. Just today, we have expected some governors, some ministers to be in the prison. You can imagine, all the whole world is a global thing. All the whole world is possible. The corruption is too much.
Sorry, your line is muffled. Yeah, your line is muffled, but we got you first time. Nelson, I agree with him, but he should know, the last caller must know that you cannot just throw anybody in prison. He or she goes through the mail, the justice mail.
Citizen,
yeah.
Corruption is not only about financial matters. When it's also about your conduct. When you conduct yourself in a way that is unethical. You talk about government officials. As parents, we have seen parents helping children to cheat in common entrance examination. That is corruption now. You don't have, when you start imbibing such culture in kids, what will they become when they grow up?
What are you teaching them?
Where parents register children to write jam in special centers, where will be written for them. There was a case of a man, you remember, who was caught in an examination writing for his child.
Yeah.
So what sort of parents are we? So when we are talking about corruption, we should all look in the mirror. It is not only those in government offices. Check what you are doing in your apartment. Some of us, where we live, when the members of the household contribute money to do anything, we are looking for how we will shortchange them. That is corruption.
But please, dear listener, listen. Both of us, my humble self and Nelson Ekujimi, are not here to paint President Tinubu in flying colors. But we are saying, by the time he assumed office 2 years ago, we were in an already bad place.
Absolutely.
And so cleaning the stable was not an easy thing. You had to take some bold steps because things will first go bad, and then you think about cleaning the stable. And I rather like the illustration given by what's a man who likened President Tinubu's first 2 years as in the first 45 minutes of a football
football match. Yeah.
So the second half is already going into the second half.
So
we expect the
lessons from the first half.
That's it.
To make amends.
We rejig and we retool.
Yes.
It can only get better.
Yes, absolutely. And we should all know that government is people by human beings, are not saints.
Yeah. All right. Another listener is here. Good morning to you. No. I lost.
Government is people by human beings, are not saints. So they have their ups and downs. Like the Yorubas will say that you cannot walk and your neck will be stiff.
Okay, a listener is there. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Sister Jones.
I greet you.
Please, I have just want you to be patient. Let me just put little this analysis. Assuming that I was receiving 500 naira 3 years ago as a maybe salary or bonus or whatever, but a monthly I received 500 naira 3 years ago. Today, I'm receiving 1,500 naira. Have things changed in terms of value? We are just talking about how much the governors are receiving. If you look at it critically and look at the value at was then and what it is now, you know that they are even receiving less. And that is one. Two, we are talking about subsidy. There's nothing wrong with subsidy. The problem of subsidy was corruption. And because the federal government failed to tackle the corruption in subsidy, and they put the burden on the citizens. All the Europeans and American countries are subsidizing for their citizens in various ways in order for them to tackle economic challenges they are facing. But in Nigeria, a different thing.
All right.
In education, they increase everything.
Thank you. 60 seconds. We got him first time.
Yes, you talk about corruption. We must state it very clearly here that corruption is an act by human beings, to shortchange one another or to change,
circumvent the system.
Yes, to gain undue advantage.
Oh yeah.
When you are talking about the value, if you were earning 500 naira before, and now you are earning 1,500 naira, and the price of goods have skyrocketed. It is for you to have a scale of preference and decide what you, because man's needs are insatiable, but the resources to fulfill those needs are limited.
Yeah, Nelson, let me go back to the President Muhammadu Buhari's time.
Yeah.
Yes, let's go rice. In this country, we have no less than 30 species. There are 30 of them, 30 varieties.
Yes.
President Buhari attempted to close the borders just so we became
a rice producing country.
Yeah, so that our choice, our appetite for imported rice would be stemmed.
Yeah.
But smugglers and their cousins shouted blue murder. So here we are.
President Muhammadu Buhari invested billions of naira into the Anchors Borough scheme, under the CBN, under the leadership of Godwin Emefiele. And and that was why the beauty of the Buhari administration was that the investment by Buhari in agriculture was able to save us when COVID-19 came.
Nelson, you remember Lake Rice, Lagos?
Yes, because in fact, Citizen Jones, as a young boy while growing up, I used to hear of Abakaliki rice.
Abakaliki,
I never saw it with my eye. But under President Muhammadu Buhari, if you go to Ido market, there's no rice under the sun that you wouldn't see.
Yeah.
But because the beneficiaries of the scheme, farmers who were giving those funds to grow,
Borrowers
scheme, who were giving those money, who became billionaires overnight,
Yeah.
Instead of them to repay back that trust by ensuring that the price of rice is within affordable means, they started doing otherwise. And that was the reason why when this administration came into office, when the price of basic foodstuff skyrocketed because those who were supposed to repay the trust, who got government loans at almost zero interest compared to what they would have gotten from the bank. That was why the government, when it realized that it's like there are saboteurs involved in ensuring that they weaponize the people's anger, the government now opened the border and said rice should come in and other food. Now those beneficiaries are crying out that the government wants to take them out of business.
All right. Let me take another listener here. Good morning.
Good morning, Citizen Jones. I'm Nelson Ekujimi.
Okay.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Peter Usifo. I'm calling from Abaranja in the cotton. I know that there's nothing the president will do that the opposition people will see as right. They will always criticize the president. But as a patriotic Nigerian, I praise the president for having the political will to remove the oil subsidy, floating the naira, because at the initial, this was benefiting the rich at the expense of the poor. You remember there was always smuggling.
Yes.
When NNPCL, import fuel, they were smuggling to neighboring states like Niger, Mali, and Co.
Yeah.
But now it's no more happening. And then there's total deregulation of the oil sector, and of course, implementation of Petroleum Industry Act. And apart from that, the tax reform bill, so God be the glory, to soon be an act. You understand? So these are the good things apart from the Lagos Calabar coastal line. You understand? So these are the good things Nigerians should see.
All right, let me stop you. We got you first time. Thank you, Mr. Osifo. Nelson, one of the callers talked about electricity. Now, do you know that until recently, I never knew we had more than 400 textile factories scattered across the country.
Yes.
In Lagos here, you cannot forget Aswani. On that highway,
yes,
you had a number of but they are down because electricity
and
is not there.
And the government policies. Yeah.
Also remember that in the dying days of the last President Muhammadu Buhari's regime, he removed electricity generation and
distribution from the exclusive list
to the
concurrent, yes.
Lagos State Secretariat, as I speak, is not on the national.
It's not
grid.
on the,
It's
on
on
IPP.
solar.
Yeah.
Abia State, for instance,
Yes.
is showing the way that you can do without getting
Citizen Jones, the time
so it is more about the federating units and a lot less on the center.
Yes, and we also made mention of that with reference to agriculture.
Yeah.
Even security. You can see that in Lagos today, we have a RRS. There's no local government, there's no major highway in this Lagos state that you don't have a vehicle of RRS stationed there.
Yeah.
Because even if we say we don't have enough personnel, the mere presence of security operatives deter criminals. They will know, if I pass this way, I'm likely to be stopped, and that could be my end. But most importantly, when you are talking about electricity, Citizen Jones, the greatest problem bedeviling our electricity sector is liquidity.
And let me go there quickly. Transmission.
No, I agree with you. When you're talking about transmission, you need, if you want to transmit, you need enough funds to upgrade the existing infrastructure. So it's liquidity. So government recognizing that, look, we cannot continue because government's revenue is drying up. There's no revenue. That is why a lot of programs these days is being done through PPP. That's public-private partnership.
Yeah.
So government responsibility is to provide the enabling environment, and because of the fact that a lot of funds is needed to ensure that the electricity industry keeps going, that was why the government went into that electricity roadmap and reworked it to along the band lines.
Yeah. Quickly, Nelson, Abia State Governor some days ago signed the Senior Citizens Bill into law.
Yes.
The state is going to take over,
the electricity.
The requirements of senior citizens from the age of 59 upwards, and pensioners. If states refuse to pay pensioners, I cannot see it as the fault of the federal.
No.
Every state.
In fact, under former Governor Rauf Aregbesola in Osun State, if you remember, and even Kayode Fayemi in Ekiti, they were paying some stipends to the elderly in the state. I think maybe about 5,000 naira every month. And under former President Muhammadu Buhari, you recollect the welfare program he introduced, whereby we have a lot of social welfare schemes under that humanitarian ministry. So in all, a lot of the focus that we have placed on Abuja is totally misplaced. Our focus should be on the subnationals as well as the local government who are getting funds to give account of stewardship. In that way, things will be better. When you're talking about the high cost of living.
Last year, the Supreme Court, in a landmark judgment, granted financial autonomy to local governments.
But as we speak,
many states have said no.
No, it's not that they are saying no. They are acting like a stumbling block, using all sorts of mechanism, to frustrate the implementation of that judgment.
And the man at the bus stop has refused to see who the enemy of democracy is.
They have refused to.
Nelson, time is tight, but I want to thank you for your intervention.
Thank you very much for having me.
Dear listener, we are out of here. The president is going into his second half. So let's hope that the foundation he has laid will turn out good for us. I wish you well. Bye-bye. Good morning. Thank you, Nelson.
Thank you, Citizen Jones. Thank you, listeners.